Greetings, bloggers, vloggers, followers, and podders. Dustin here from Dustin's Dynasty with another edition of this week's episode. If you haven't been following already, my name is Dustin. I'm autistic. I'm in my late 30s, and I have been doing blogs and podcasts for over 4 years now. It's hard to believe that, but it is. And I share my journey as I've been living through 4 decades of being autistic and having other mental health challenges. I live independently and I have a part-time job. So you would say I'm one of the ones who've made it through. But we've made it this far, so we keep on going. Moving forward, to pay attention, have a enjoy this week's vlog. So, so this week it has been Thanksgiving week here in the States. If you haven't followed, you know it's Thanksgiving. We sit around, we enjoy our Thanksgiving, and with that becomes change. And there is a lot of change because there is a lot of days off in a row that are not normally days off. And there is a lot of change with Thanksgiving. And sometimes for me, more so, that can put me more in a funk because I don't realize that I don't have a hard time adapting my routine to what is expected. There's a lot of downtime, there's a lot of unknown, not what to do, so on and so forth. And it can also bring back a lot of, what do I do during this time or falling off course or whatever it may be. And sometimes it may just take a lot of time to get out of that funk of what you're feeling. And sometimes, there is a lot of times when autistic people are just down and out because it's too much for them. The holiday celebrations can be a lot for them. And for me this year, it wasn't so much that it was a lot of pack stuff. So it did take a lot of time to calm down and get back into routine, a couple days. But now finally that I'm out of that funk and you got to get back into that routine, you got to get moving. As hard as it can be, it's something that you have to do for yourself. You can say, well, this person didn't help me or that person didn't help me. But as an autistic person, you have to do it yourself because if you can, because you're not going to feel out of place. You're going to feel out of sorts. You're not going to feel, that you're not going to get out of that funk if you don't at least take that initiative and do it. There have been many times I've been in sort of a funk, and I say that because often it's a few days. Now, it would be concerning if it was a few over a week or something like that. But for me, when I get in my down and out time, it's usually a week, a couple days where I just don't feel like I belong or I feel like I matter or, I feel like the world's up against me when in reality it's not. I often think my brain goes to thinking that everything in the world is against me and, I'm not intended to have these things. And this kind of behavior happened more so when I was living with my family because I felt like there was no way out of the negativity that I was experiencing or that I had to adhere to somebody's plan. But unfortunately, things in life change. And a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I moved out on my own, and for the most part, it's been pretty good. And taking care of myself is also sometimes, the hard struggle, but I get through it and I do what I need to do to get well and stay well. And part of that does help with getting out of the funk, but part of it is, it's my responsibility to keep myself engaged, keep myself doing what I need to do. And as hard as that can be for me sometimes, I just keep going because you can't stop. It's very hard. Now, granted, I've had a long 2024. My father had a stroke back in May, and we've been visiting him at a lot of places over that time. And the more recent one is an hour drive each way to and from, which is a little taxing, believe it or not, but we've done it. And as hard as, I stand strong for my mother and I stand strong for him too, but it's, and it's but after doing all so much of working and day services and just going to things, you eventually tire out and you get into this funk where you just don't feel yourself. and you sleep for hours on end because you're just eventually going to crash. And no matter what you can do to save yourself, it's just not going to help you. It's going to take time to rebuild, that sense of self and get back on track. I know I have to get back on track, and get part of that is doing a video such as this because I know I need to. Um, I'm out of routine. I'm out of sorts. Blog posts aren't done, things of that nature, and I know they need to be done. Um, so, just getting ready and doing those is part of that. Having a routine is very important when it comes to trying to avoid to be out of the funk because if you're out of routine, such as a holiday weekend, it can really throw you off, and it has done that. And I know Christmas is coming up, and December is just a few hours away. So, there's a lot of different things that go on with the world that we have to navigate as autistic people. There are different smells, there are different sights, different lights, all kind of things that can throw us off. And even that today, as I went to Walmart, I saw that there's different kind of sights, sounds, lights, and things. And I did get through it. I did get what I needed, but I had to come home and rest afterwards because it is too much sometimes. But it was part of the whole being in a funk for a few days. But now that I'm out of that and I feel much better. It's just a cycle that I guess I go through from time to time, and I know how to manage it, and I know how to be my best self. But not having a regular routine schedule doesn't help the situation either, and that can cause some problems. But I have to work better at managing that on my own, much better than what I have been. The holidays are coming up, and that's also going to be a bigger change. There are more days off this holiday than there have been for some time. And I'm going to have to manage to work with among those and work to be better and taking care of myself, getting adequate sleep, not too much, not too little, and working at getting the sleep that I need, along with understanding that I have to care for myself, my body, and everything too. So all of those things matter, regardless whether you think about it or not. Things like a shower can make you feel like $1 million, or a clean pair of clothes. Those things can make you feel so much better about yourself and make you feel like you matter and you care about yourself. Never forget that you always matter and you always care about yourself, and that you are loved and appreciated for who you are. And sometimes for me that's hard to see and hard to believe, but it is true, and I do know it deep down inside. There's times I just get in my ways, but it hasn't been so much lately. But there are times I feel down and out about certain things, and things I want to put out of the past, and I'm working at them. But they can put me down in a funk, and they can make me be precipitators that can get me down and out too. But there's nothing I can do to change them. There's nothing I can do to make a change about them. So they are what they are, and that's just how they are. I can't change how they are. Things happen the way they do, and there's things we can't control. But what we can control as autistic human beings is the way we react to things. And as hard as that can seem, it is true that, reaction is everything. The way we react and condone ourselves, it matters, and it shows to others how we really are. It shows the way we conduct ourselves and how we handle ourselves in challenging situations, especially to those who look up to us as role models. It really matters. And that we can be strong and get through the challenges that are set forth in our path. It's not easy all the time. The holidays don't make it any easier, but we have to do what's best for us sometimes, and we have to try to be the best person in any given situation. And part of that is doing things that we don't feel comfortable doing or that we don't want to do, because in the end it makes our mental health feel better and get us out of the funk of what we are in. We may not see it in the beginning, or we may not feel it, but eventually we do feel it, we do understand it, and it does get better for us. I'm hoping the rest of the weekend becomes better for me, and I know it will. I just have to be patient with myself and give myself time to do that. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I don't want to elaborate on this video this weekend, but I do, get into these periods of funk for a while, and I do get out of them, but it takes time. And that's what I want to prove to people. If it's over a week, you really need to bring it to the attention of someone. But, if it gets better, just know that. Remember that you are loved, you matter, you are enough, and you care, and we all care about everybody. So, with that being said, I want to thank you for listening today. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you haven't already, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, X, and Pinterest at Dustin's Dynasty. I'm on the web. That address is dustinsdynastyusa.com. And I'm on my Linktree has all my handles to all my podcast and socials. Linktree/Dustin's Dynasty. I want to thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your holiday weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.